Hey everybody, my name is Lia Grainger. I'm one of the hosts of Curtain Call. And if you haven't watched us before, Curtain Call is a weekly show where we take a deep dive interviewing women performers, musicians from Canada and from around the world. And we're an initiative of FabCollab, and FabCollab started during Hi, everybody. FabCollab started during at the beginning of the pandemic, and we're working to give performing artists, particularly BIPOC and women artists, a new venue and a different way to perform when we're not able to join. Hey, everybody! When we're not able to join and be with each other in person, so we found all the different kinds of ways to continue sharing our art form with the public. So Curtain Call is one of those ways. And this week we have a wonderful guest who will be joining us in a moment. Her name is Ana Lía, and she's a singer, she's an actor, she's sort of a media impresario here in Toronto as well. While we're waiting for her to come on, I'm going to talk a little bit about something else we have going on. It's the holiday season, even though it might not feel like that. It's a bit of a weird one this year, and we are looking for fun ways to sort of celebrate while we can't all be in the same room together. So right now, FabCollab we're looking for musicians or just fans or aficionados from Canada, from around the world, to send us their songs, send us their holiday music. So we'd love it if you would take a 10 or 20-second video of yourself singing, playing a holiday song in whatever language that you like. And we're going to make a compilation of people from Canada, from around the world, singing their songs, singing their music. So please send those in. You can send it in to Ali at fabcollab.ca. It's ALI at fabcollab.ca. And we'll be, yes, Tamara is writing right now. We're going to put an example in our story so you can see exactly what you're looking for. I'm planning on recording my own tonight. Yeah, so please, we'd love it if you could share that with us. Hi, everybody. So good to see you all. Yeah, and so we're going to have Ana Lía join us right now. Oh, yes. Also, I want to mention, if you send in your song, you can also win a pashmina scarf. So I think it's going to be a draw. Tomorrow's going to be a draw. Yes, I believe so. Here we go. We've got Ana Lía.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
Yeah, so Ana Lía, as I was mentioning before, is a wonderful singer. She's also a dancer. She's an actor.
thank you.
She is a media impresario at this point. So thank you so much for joining us. I think maybe it would be great if you could start off just so people get a sense of where you're coming from. If you could
Right.
go take us back to when you were maybe a child and talk about a little bit about where you're from and if you've always had this sort of performative drive.
Yeah, okay. Yes, so the answer to your question directly, yes. Since I was a kid, it's been, a lot of people believe in callings. I believe in that too. I think my calling was always very clear. It was going to be in the entertainment world, whether it was singing or acting or dancing, but entertaining. Like it's always been, I'm a people person and I love entertaining. So since I was a kid, like I would, for example, my family jokes because when I was like a teenager, we would we would have lunch, sorry, at my grandma's every Saturday. And then after lunch, noticeably everyone gets that, what is it called? I think it's itis, like where you get like kind of sleepy
Mhm.
after you eat. But for some reason, I didn't want people to sleep. So I would be like, okay, I would play La Escuelita, which is like little school. And I would be the director of the school. And I would give everyone a character. And I would sing. And I would always be entertaining people. Like it was always a thing I did since I was a little child. And it developed.
For 1 second, you were in the Dominican Republic, is that correct?
Yes, I was born and
This
raised
was
there.
happening in Spanish with like your immediate family.
Pardon?
This was all happening in Spanish,
Yes,
right?
so all
With
in
your
Spanish.
immediate
Oh, yeah, yeah.
family.
all in Spanish, even though even though I would burst into song and burst, is that right to say burst into song? I'm forgetting my English, I'm sorry. Yes, burst into song, like musical theater, and I would sing like songs that in according to me they were in English. So there's like a famous one that I that I still remember because my grandpa loved it. And it was called Alleluia, which I thought meant Alleluia, hallelujah, right? And it would be like Alleluia, Alleluia, and we really on a show, and happiness go honest, and I really want to show. And as a 5-year-old, I was like, yeah, I'm singing in English. And I remember my grandpa would be like, oh yeah, what does it mean? And I would translate it. I'd say, Aleluya, aleluya, van a realizar un show y todos van a ir y van a disfrutar. And he would be like, wow, like the imagination, eh? It's crazy. So since I was a kid, I was always like writing tunes, entertaining people. So it was only a matter of like epiphanies to like show me that I had to, that this was my calling. So I feel like one of those big moments that I was like, I love this. I want to do this more on a regular basis. I was like 10 maybe. My mom is there. I don't know. She may remember my age. Hola, Vanessa. Hola, everyone that's joining. Thank you, guys. We were at a family retreat, and it was a Christian family retreat. So the sermon had just ended, and the host, the MC guy, was like, oh, if anyone would like to come up and like sing a hymn or a praise. And I don't know why, but I stood up and there were like, I don't know, like 200 people. I don't know how many there were. And I got off my seat and I just went to the podium, and I remember they brought down the mic and I started singing. And I still remember what I sang. It was called, it's the one that goes, alabad, alabad, alabad al gran rey. That one, anyway, for anyone that knows that one in Spanish. And I sang the verse and the chorus. And then I remember when I finished, I got really shy because all of a sudden I realized what I had just done. But so I went back to my seat, and as I'm walking back to my seat, I'm just like, I love that. I want to do that again. Like, it was like, ooh, got this.
Mar wants to know if there's any video footage.
Unfortunately, there isn't, but there's a photo. There's a photo. We found a photo that someone took. Eh?
We need that photo.
Yeah, I'll send it after. I'll show you. I'll show it after. Yeah, so I have a photo of it, so I see the dress I'm wearing and everything. But yeah, no video. Back then we didn't have videos on the phone.
No problem. But
yeah, so like
that moment, like how did it feel?
Pardon?
How did it feel in that moment?
It's again, like I haven't been very much of a shy person, but I remember as I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, all these people are watching me. But when I finished, they were like, they like clapped, and it was like so cute. It was like so, and as I'm walking back to my seat, I'm just like, oh, I really want to do that again. Like, I should have sang the whole song. Like, I regretted letting go of the mic. And I had one of my friends is there, Albany. We had like a little band, so we started creating songs, or we would like in the neighborhood, the five of us would get together and sing songs together and like plan performances. So again, since I was a kid, I was always like dreaming of performing and dreaming of entertainment, whether it was through acting or singing, any of those. So it's no surprise I'm here today.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you transitioned to Toronto and how that happened. Was it because you were pursuing these kind of dreams?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I 100% adore Dominican Republic. I love it. I miss it every day. So for me to leave DR was like, it would take something beyond that to take me out of the country. And that was my passion for performing arts. I was 17 and I had just graduated high school, and my mom was helping me choose like colleges to go to. And unfortunately, to study performing arts as a career, like you can't, in Dominican, there's no such thing. Like you can take classes, but you cannot study a college program of performing, like singing, dancing, all that stuff. So I remember I was really torn because I didn't want to leave the country. So my idea was like, okay, I'm gonna go and study abroad, but I'll come back and bring all of that home, which I still want to do eventually. But
I'm just wondering, how did you like get a sense of that this was even like a possibility?
like a possibility of studying this.
You knew, like, how did you know that, like, elsewhere in the world, like, this was
Yeah.
something you could study and that this was like a real career? Like, how did you
Yeah.
become aware of that?
So a big kudos to Glee. Glee has no idea. Do you know that show?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Glee has no idea how monumental they were. That show was in my life. So whenever it came out, I must have been like 13. And I was a big fan of the show because I realized, like, oh my gosh, these kids are doing, they're singing, they're acting, and they're dancing. I'm like, they're doing everything that I love in one thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is something that you can do. In the Dominican, again, it wasn't very common. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. And I remember Rachel Berry, that was the main character. She would talk about that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to Broadway and she wanted to study that. And I related to her so much. So when I was around that age, 13, I started I started showing that interest. So my mom put me in classes of danza española, Spanish dance classes. And then I started taking jazz dance and ballet classes. And then when I was like, the singing came a little later, like when I was like 17, literally the year before I moved here. Then I started taking singing lessons and acting when I was 13. So I realized through Glee, funny enough, it was through Glee, and because I had the opportunity of playing this role, like at a school show, like at a school drama class, and I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome to like play someone else, and it was someone that was very different from me too. But I realized how much, I don't know, maybe it's some people believe in zodiac signs. Maybe it's the Gemini in me that likes playing these other roles. I'm like,
too.
You're a Gemini too. Oh well, hello. Yeah, so that's kind of how I like discovered that you could study everything into one. And yeah, and then like I said, Dominican didn't have those programs, so we were looking into the States, but the States, it's like $16,000 for 1 year, and I'm like, who pays that money? Like, well, obviously really rich people, or if you get like amazing scholarships, but as an international student, the rates are even higher, and it's even harder for me to go into those schools. So my mom,
whereas here in Canada
is
we'll have
way better. Hi, Lisi. That's my cousin, fellow Gemini, she says. So my mom worked at Scotiabank, that's a Canadian bank, and she would sometimes get sent over to Toronto to do certain training. So she said, hey, I know in Canada they have schools that teach that, so why don't we look into Canada and let's look into Toronto, which I know was also like a strategic way of being like, well, I will get sent over every now and then, and I get to, visit too.
You get to see mom once in a while.
So that's how I ended up coming here, is because then I found Randolph College for the Performing Arts. I auditioned, I got in, and I was like, okay. So I moved to Canada. It was not easy. It was hard, but I did it.
What was hard about it?
Pardon?
What was hard about it?
Oh, there's so many things hard about it. I mean, Lisi is a fellow immigrant like I am, so she will have gone through a few of these things. But like, first, culture shocks, massive culture shocks. We are very community-oriented people. So like, when I moved here, I realized like everyone here is friends for themselves, kind of thing. Like, you have friends, but in order for you to have those friends, it takes years. Like, it took me 2 years to say that I had real friends, in Canadian friends. And it's nothing against Canadians. It's just, it's the culture. Everyone is very focused on their own goals. And that was really, really hard for me. I'm very social. And when I moved here, I moved in the middle of winter too. And it was a brutal winter. Yeah, Lisi's like, the cold is brutal. Like, again, we come from heat and humidity, and like we can go to the beach whenever we want to. And if you had a bad week, it's okay. The beach is there waiting for you. Like, we don't have that luxury here. So I had to adapt to that stuff. I also had to adapt to living alone for the first time, like fully living alone for the first time.
Yeah, because how old were you? You were like...
I was 18.
18, yeah.
Yeah, I was 18, and I had to,
Where were you living in the city?
I was living in the Koreatown.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because it was kind of close to the annex. I lived in a basement apartment, and that's the other thing, the lack of light. Oh my gosh, I had never I realized how much I appreciate sunlight when I moved to Canada and lived my first winter. I was like, oh, we took it for
I know,
granted.
we're living it right now.
Yes, I know. Right now, I know. If we look out the window, there's
I'm
no
sitting in
sunshine to
front
be
of a
seen.
window, but this is like, it'll be over at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like then the short day. So like the weather was one thing, the culture was another thing. The other thing was like schedules. Like for example, all of us, Randolph is a very, very strict program, like very strict and very intense. They do 3 academic years in 2 calendar years. So we take less shorter breaks than most people do, where we go in we start class at 8 in the morning, and sometimes we would leave at 10, and then we would have homework and a bunch of like rehearsals, learn everything. Like there's so much that we needed to do. And then on top of that, I had to cook for myself, do laundry. It was just like too much. I was like, what is happening? What is this? So I wanted to give up 10,000 times. I'm not going to lie. And I tried giving up, believe me, but my mom didn't let me. She's like, no, it's all paper. You're finishing the term at least. She would be like, finish the term. So it was hard in many ways.
But you made it.
I
So
did
tell
it.
me a little bit about like, because you like the school focused on all different kinds of streams, but it seems like in the last 5 years or recently in your career, there's really been a focus on music. So maybe can you talk about how you came together with other musicians and how that evolved?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I graduated at Randolph and December 2012. And then in 2013 and 2014, I was really focused on acting mostly. I didn't know how to play an instrument. I never stopped writing songs. I always wrote songs, but I did it for me, like as a way of venting and stuff like that. And then my mom took classes with Carmen Romero, dance like flamenco, and she also took cante with Fernando, who lived in the city at the time. And Fernando would come to our place with Michael Kavanagh. And Michael Kavanagh and I became great friends. He's a guitarist, for those of you who don't know him. And we started, like, we got along. Like, we're more in that age range that we were like, we should do stuff together. Like, and he was interested in getting to know me more as a singer. So I was like, yeah. So we started working on music together. And then one day we're rehearsing covers and whatnot. And he tells me, hey, like, would you be interested in performing with this band called Santerias? And I was like, I don't know them. Like, tell me more. And he said, well, I have this colleague. His name is Dino. He has this band, and they do Latin funk, Latin fusion music, and they're looking for a female singer that sings in Spanish and English and that has flamenco knowledge or background. And so I was like, that's me. Yeah, like bring me in. And he was like, okay, like, because they also ideally wanted the singer to be Latina as well. So he was like, so I thought of you right away, and I'm just wondering if you're interested. So they put me in contact, and I had like a rehearsal, I guess, with them, and which was like an audition, I guess. And we had like gigs booked already for the summer, so it was like full throttle right away. And geez, like through Santerias, I got to know the Toronto music scene. I got to know how it works, how to get gigs, all that stuff. I was a virgin before that. And I also got a lot of, como digo en inglés, me limé. Like, I don't want to, like, the translations, I filed myself, but that sounds weird. I polished, I guess. Let's say I polished my performing skills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You became a performer. You came into your own.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because I studied performing arts, which was me singing in a character. And all of a sudden, I am singing as Ana Lía, and I'm interpreting these songs as I want to. And I fell in love with that. And I honestly, like, musical theater is nice and all, but it doesn't fulfill me like this does. So that's how I became, got into it.
A little about, like working with Santerias, are you involved like in actually we had a little question. There's our friend Kunal, who's a flamenco dancer. He's based in India. I actually met him in Seville. He's an incredible dancer and performer. Ooh. And he says you look a little bit like Amy Winehouse.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Amazing. That's
funny. Wow, thank you, Kunal. I love Amy. You're not the first person to tell me that. Funny enough, when in those like performances that I've done with Santerias, I like wearing these things, and I know some people relate that to reminds them of Amy.
You need the beehive though as well.
Yeah, I need the higher one, right? One time I was singing Hola Pili. One time I was singing, I don't remember what it was, but people were like, you remind me of Amy Winehouse. And I was like, what? Because I had never, ever even thought, that never crossed my mind. And I had darker hair. So Kunal, you're not the first person to tell me that. And I take that as a compliment. So thank you.
Ana Lía, maybe you could tell me a little bit about how you write music with Santa Diaz and like what the process is and what you bring to the table.
Santerias, man, it was super fun. The way we would write songs, it really varied. Like sometimes I would bring in a song, or Dino would bring in lyrics, or Oriana, or Randolph. We already had we would bring them in, and then we would workshop them together. Every song has a cool story. But let me see, like for example, Mundo Desigual was our very first single as Santerias, with me, like with Ana Lía as the lead singer. And that song is very special to me for many reasons. I think it's like one of our best songs, period. Like it's catchy, it's nice. It has like a little bit of that Latin, but it also goes into this, it's like the fusion thing. I love that. And when we were writing that, I remember Dino came in, he brought in these lyrics like in English, and I looked at them and I said, do you mind if I tweak and at my own? And he's like, yeah, I'm just bringing it as inspiration. So that song, the lyrics, we wrote it together. And there's this famous the chorus that says, oh, looking up to the sky and then I see your eyes, que me llega hasta el alma. Oh, looking up to the sky and when I see your eyes, I know I found my reason. That part of the song,
Okay.
I wrote inspired by my niece Renata, which she's in school right now. I wish she was watching this because I don't think I've ever told her that. But the song is called Mundo Desigual, which means unequal world. And that song talks about, well, this world. I don't need to say more. And I remember that because it could be a sad song, but we didn't want to make it sad. We wanted to make it about how can we cope in these unequal worlds. And that verse to me was, I thought of my niece Renata, because I thought, what is something that you think or you look at and you're like, but you're worth, like you inspire me. I see that innocence and I want to keep going. And Renata was that for me. my baby, my oldest niece. And it can be anything. Every time I perform this song, I always tell people it can be anything for you guys. It could be music for you. It could be dance. It could be your mom. It could be your dog, your cat. Like it can be anything, but just find that. Some people call it could be your calling or anything, but find that. And
yeah, that is something about music or about any kind of art form, is that the audience is gonna make it their own anyways.
Yeah, exactly. People, like my mom just said, I didn't know that. She didn't know. See, like it could be anything. And I usually let people take like what you just say, make it their own. And then if you ask me like what inspired me specifically, I can tell people. But I like when people take their own conclusions. I just wanted to say hi to some people there. Hi, Amanda. Thank you everyone for joining, and Freddie and S. Ruiza. Thank you so much, everyone. And Almir, thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like as a musician being here in Canada and being Latina, and how your music is sort of received here? Because it seems like your music, it's like bridges between a lot of different worlds. And what is it like bringing that music here in North America and Canada?
Yeah, so it's a challenge. It's challenging. I find that if we turn on the radio and when we put on TV, like Canadian TV, we still lack a massive amount of minority visibility. I wish there was more. Like I wish that I would turn on the radio and a song in English can play, but then a song in Spanish plays, or a song in Portuguese, or I just wish we had more diversity on the radio. So I find that people that play or sing music that is not English have a harder time in Canada getting their music in the media. We have to then reach out to like specific niche radios or niche blogs or niche these, and I'm like wondering, why just niches? Why can't we be in the big one too? Like, when is that going to open up for us? So that's something that's really frustrating to me. That's one of them. The other one is stereotypes. Because I'm Latina, there's certain things expected from me, and I
Mhm.
hate that. Like, do not label me that.
Yeah, you sort of put in a box a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi,
Mhm.
Freddie. Yeah. Like, for example, one time, like, I was in this competition. I have a fellow contestant here, Almir. I was in this competition called The Shot, and I was the only Latina in it, and I was really proud to be the only Latina in it. I'm like, oh, amazing, like I'm representing whatever. And my music is a lot in Spanish, but it won't always be in Spanish. Like, I just sang that little verse of Mundo es Igual. That's in English, and then we go into Spanish. Like, I love Spanglish, and sometimes I will sing in English. I live in Canada. Like, I do whatever I want. Just let me. No, yeah, don't limit me.
Yeah.
So, in the competition, when I auditioned with a song in Spanish, which was my first single as a solo artist, Abul, and I got in. And then the last, I got as far as to the top 24. And then that specific part of the competition, they wanted us to switch songs with another artist. And I got paired with this folk Americana country artist, songwriter. So obviously, like, the song was about like driving trucks and like the farms and all that stuff, which I can't really relate to. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it my own. So I thought of me growing up in Dominican, and then I also thought of the part of like, let's make one verse in Spanish, etc., etc. So I played around with that, but instead of doing like, instead of making it Latin, I decided I wanted to play the piano and sing and show another side that I hadn't shown in the competition. So anyway, I did that, and then I didn't make it to the next round, which was the top 14. And then when I saw when they played what they said about my performance, I was really disappointed in the comments, because it wasn't about like, oh, it wasn't constructive criticism. What they said was, oh, I'm disappointed she didn't make it all in Spanish. Yeah, I thought she would bring in more of like the Latino flair, like make it more Latino. I'm like, guys, come on, like,
Yeah.
so that
You
was
don't have to
really,
do it all the time.
pardon?
You don't have to do it all the time. It's like,
Yeah, it was really disappointing that, like, we live in Canada, and like, come on, like, just be more open-minded. I don't have to sing in Spanish all the time. I don't have to have congas and timbales in every song. Like, geez,
yeah.
like, so that was really frustrating, especially because if you like, hello, like, look at J-Lo, look at Becky G, Rosalia, look at all these Hispanic singers. They're singing in whatever language they want because they can, and music shouldn't have limits. So
Exactly.
that was very disheartening to see. And I was like, wow, we really have a lot of work still to do in this industry. For us, I'm speaking on as a Latina, but I know that Black, Indigenous, and other people of color have shared issues like this one, and even others. Like, we just need more diversity in media. So praying for
Yeah.
that.
Especially what you were saying earlier about, it's that if you're not singing in English, or if you're from another country, or if your music has any sort of influence that isn't sort of pop or country or like rock, then it's like world music, and that exists in a tiny box, like, and it's its own thing, when it's like, no, this is just music. It,
Yes. Yeah. And that's the
it's like
other thing. It's like,
it's
what is
all
world music? Yeah, that is the thing. For example, Tamar is there. Tamar is a world, she describes herself as a world music singer. And I agree, she's a world music singer, because what I understand by world music genre is the like music that's traditional, folk that is non-Anglo. Like, that's usually what world is considered. In my case, like, when I apply for, whenever I try applying for a grant or something, the
Mhm.
category of Latin is rarely there. So I have to go into world, and then they're like, oh, but you're not world enough. But then I'm not pop enough
You're not like
for
roots in that,
Canada. So I'm
but
like,
you're
so
not
what am
pop.
I?
Yeah.
Like, so that
There's
also
no
drives me
pop for
bonkers.
you,
Yeah,
yeah.
and some people would be like, no, you are world because you sing in Spanish. But then to world people, I'm not. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's like you're bridging too many things and people just don't know what to do with you.
Now it's global, Tamar says. Well, great.
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
Almer says
No
because I'm
more
black,
label.
everyone expects me to be in rap, but that's not me at all. Yeah, like stop with these stereotypes. Annoying. Yeah.
So, like, what are some of the ways that you're tackling these issues?
So this is where my media platform El Break TV comes in. So I started
El
El,
Break?
El Break TV. Yeah, I'm going to write it here. So El Break TV started, we officially launched it. It was launched with two other artists. Their names are Natalie Rivera and Stefania Serna. And one of them is Natalie is a DJ and Stefania is an actor. And as you know all now, I'm also a singer, songwriter, actor. So we decided, we had seen this massive gap in media, and we already had experience in media, like in radio or TV. And we said, okay, well, if it doesn't exist, then then we got to make it. Like, let's do it. Let's do it. So we're like, okay. So we started this. We started as a digital platform, and we started with YouTube, and it's grown exponentially. We launched it in September 2019, last year. Yeah. And for next year, we have exciting news that I can't share yet, but we're growing exponentially. And that's the point, is to give more visibility to, it's more towards Latinos and Hispanics, but it's because we need it. We want it. We want quality content. Canada has hundreds of thousands of us. It's about time we get our own.
What are some of the things that people see at El Break?
So for example, we covered the Junos in 2000. When was it? Geez, now I'm getting confused. Was it 2018? We covered the Junos, or no, I don't know. We covered the Junos. we do a little bit of, like, we do events like in the city. Like, for example, if the Toronto Black Film Festival is here, we try to cover that and also try to highlight whatever Latino movies are presenting or Hispanic movies are presenting. We also do giveaways of concerts. So like when Rosalia was here, we did giveaways. We did tickets giveaway of her concert. We do interviews with many Latino artists. A lot of them are big names like Fonseca. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking, but we've had, like, we cover Maluma. Like, again,
it seems like there's tons of interviews with different artists.
Yeah, interviews, and like try to cover events and things in the city. Just we want us Latinos and people to remember that we're not alone. There's many of us here. There's a lot that we can do, and you can watch content in your own language, like your mother tongue, Spanish. So yeah, so guys, I encourage you all to follow us. We're going to
follow El Break. Yeah. It's incredible what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Thank you.
I can't believe, like, the amount of content you guys are creating. It's incredible.
It's a lot of work, but you know what? Like, when you have a vision and a mission, and it aligns with your calling and things, I think it even though it's a lot of work, it feels gratifying. You know, Wika, yes, my mom. Wika,
you three girls.
Wika, oh, my favorite.
You three girls look like a lot of fun too.
We can be a lot of fun, yes. We are. Thank you. Diversity promotion is so important, yes.
Do you think that, would you mind maybe singing a little bit for us or performing something? That would be...
Sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. I get a little nervous because I just want to give an FYI, everyone that's watching. I am not a pianist. I use the piano to write songs and to accompany myself when writing, but even that is very basic, okay?
You know, never apologize. Never preface anything with an apology. It's going to be beautiful.
But it will be beautiful, yes.
No one would have ever known, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so I'll sing the song that I released this year in August. It's called Abul. It's a song it's my first single as a solo artist. I talked about Santerias, but now I'm roaming solo. And next year in January, I'm releasing my second single. So stay tuned. It's a month away. I'm really excited for you guys to hear the next one.
Yeah, that's so exciting to be doing solo work.
Pardon?
It's so exciting to be doing solo work.
Yeah. I mean, I say solo because I'm singing solo, but like there's a team behind me. Like, I don't know if he's still watching, but Benjamin Barile, who I have to brag about him. He is two-time Dora Award winner for his sound design and composition skills. And he also is now nominated for a Canadian Folk Music Award for his fantastic masterpiece of an album called Esperando el Alba. Benjamin Barrile.
Oh,
Everyone, please check him
that.
out.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So he
Congratulations.
produces with like so basically I compose and I send it to him and then he produces the songs. It's awesome. I love working with him, obviously.
And also, we should probably mention
I'm engaged to him too with fun fact. No, it's awesome. It's awesome.
like Ben is an incredible musician.
He is incredible.
You're a very lucky lady.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Okay, let me see if I move. All right, everyone. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Let me just confirm. All right. Whoa, whoa, otra vez otro mensaje sin leer. Es la última vez que me lo vas a hacer. Con esta canción te dejaré saber que vaina contigo. Tus palabras me saben a miel. Y es que ahora ya puedo ver tu interés. Y deja ver cuando te conviene bien. Qué pena, chichi, llamarte. Y quién sabe si cuando tu show se acabe te quedas sin son, sin clave. Y ahora quién que te va a celebrar. Y quién sabe si cuando te pongas aquí adelante no te las ganas de saludarte. Como dice mi papá te digo yo, abul, abul, abul. Quién sabe quién eres tú, abul, abul. Abul, 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 te dejo que vaya con Dios. Wow, 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 wow. No te dio la cara para volverme a ver, no te da el valor para explicarte bien. Y no miento que de ti no lo esperé, de ti no lo esperé. Por un tiempo yo también caí a tus pies, como boba me creí cada pincel. Tus promesas me saben a hiel, me saben a hiel. Y es que ahora ya puedo ver tu interés y deja de cuando te conviene bien. Qué pena, chichi, ya me harté. Y quién sabe si cuando tu show se acabe te quedas sin son, sin clave. Y ahora quién que te va a celebrar. Y quién sabe si cuando te pongas aquí adelante, pues ten las ganas de saludarte. Como dice mi papá, te digo yo, abul, abul, abul. ¿Quién sabe quién eres tú? Abul, abul, abul. Te dejo que vaya con Dios. Abul, abul, abul. ¿Quién sabe quién eres tú? Abul, abul, abul. Te dejo que vaya con Dios.
Hey, ole!
Well, thank you.
So beautiful, Ana Lía. What a beautiful song. Can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind that song?
Yes, I can tell you.
Tamar's asking as well. What does Abu mean?
I laugh because this song, oh, Ben is so cute. Sorry, I just saw what Ben said. Abul means adios. It's a Dominican slang word to say goodbye.
Uh,
Goodbye. So I'm saying goodbye to someone in the song. The song is about breaking apart from a relationship that's been toxic, that's not feeding you anymore anything good, that is just taking things, it's weighing in on you. So I was inspired to write this song because of a personal experience that I had with someone. And I when I have love for you and I consider you a friend, it takes a lot for me to not love you forever, kind of a thing. Like I once I
you're in
consider
it
you
for
my
a
friend,
long
you're my, yeah. Like we may not talk for like a year, but like I will always like have this love and appreciation for the person. But some people aren't like that. Like some people are in your life for a stage in your life or a phase in your life, and sometimes that's really hard for me to accept. And this song was actually written for a friend. It wasn't written for an ex. A lot of people think it's for my
Yeah.
ex. It's not for my ex. I had been trying to reach out with this person because we were really, really, really close before. Like I consider them to be one of my best friends. And then I don't know, like something changed in that person. I don't know what it was. It wasn't just with me, because everyone would tell me, oh yeah, they're not really hanging out with anyone anymore. Like, so I was worried, and I would check in, but like it just got to the point where like nothing, radio silence, and I didn't hear from them for a while. And then the day I wrote the song was December 31st, 2019. And
Wow.
it was the last time I saw them, and I hadn't seen them for a year, and they showed up at a birthday that I was. And when they saw me, instead of being like, oh my gosh, hi, they were just like, oh hi, just like hello, like I'm just someone they know. And I was like, oh wow,
Oh,
really?
man.
And everyone kept telling me it's not anything personal, that they're I don't know, they're in a different thing where they're not friends with people that they, I don't know. So I was really torn by that. But I remember being like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, why am I still pining over this person? Like, I gotta let go. And Ben was with me in Dominican. This was in Dominican, and this was during the day, and then we were waiting for family to go to the New Year's Eve dinner, and he was playing with a guitar, playing chords, and he started playing these chords. And as he was playing them, it just came to me, and I was like, okay, wait, continue. And he was like playing, and so I just started, otra vez otro. So I just started going, and it kind of came to me. Like, this was probably one of the songs that I've written the fastest, because I was so enraged. And I felt like I couldn't reach out to that person anymore, like to be like, I didn't even see the point of being like, okay, I guess this is what it is. So I was like, I'm gonna put it into a song and let go. And we wrote this song called Abul. And the reason why I used Abul, funny enough, it just came to me because my dad is the one that used to say that a lot. It's an old thing. Like, my generation doesn't say Abul anymore. It's like older generation thing.
So nice that you've like continued it, or like you're continuing to use this thing your father's.
Yeah. So I thought, like, you know what? I don't want to say adios, adios. Nah. I was like, Aul, Aul. And at the same time, I was like, it's very Dominican. It's very me. So I was like, let's put it into this. Like, it just came to me, to be honest, that word. And I was like, I laughed at the beginning. I remember my brother was listening. He's like, what is that? Is that a song? And I said, yeah. And he's like, whose song? And I said, I'm like, I just wrote it. And he's like, hey, you should release that song. I like it. It's catchy. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, and my brother knows nothing about music. So I feel like when people don't know music and they relate right away, I'm like, that's a good sign. So, so I was already planning on releasing music this year. And the song that I'm releasing next is the song that was going to be released first. But then when we did this song, we were like, no, this is a song. This is the song. So we went with this one.
Has the person ever heard the song, or if they know that it's about them?
They've heard it because they messaged me saying, like, congratulations, I love the song, blah blah. But they have no idea it's about them.
You were like, that was for you, but maybe now they will.
I mean, I've told this. I'm very open about the story. I say it whenever I get asked. I don't know if they've watched the interviews, if they will connect the dots, but yeah, I don't hide it. Like, I don't hide it. And like I said, I don't hold grudges. So yeah, nothing personal against that person. I wrote that song because I needed to let go, and it was a way for me to close that chapter. And now it's closed, and now I can move on. So yeah.
Well, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that song with us. Is there anything that you can tell us about the single that's coming out, or is it a surprise?
Okay, I can say that it's coming out mid-January. It's going to have, like Abul, I made sure that it would have a little bit of my Dominican roots, like in the way, in the words I used, but also made sure that it would have my flamenco influences in it, and also my Latin jazz and all that. The next song will be way more Dominican, but
oh, cool.
But keep in mind, it won't be like bachata or merengue. But it will have its influences, its strong influences from Dominican music, and I'm really excited because one thing I can say is that I have two guest musicians in the song. One of them plays guitar, electric guitar, and the other one plays percussion. And the percussionist is Chendi Leon. He's a Toronto.
Oh, yes, I need Chendi. Amazing.
Yeah, so Chendi plays percussion on it. Yeah, and if you know Chendi, you know Chendi's freaking awesome. And then I have this one I'm gonna keep because he's one of those surprises. But the electric guitarist, he's played for like Latin Grammy Award and Grammy Award winners from Dominican Republic, such as Vicente Garcia and Juan Luis Guerra. And I asked him if he would be in the song. He just said yes, and I was like, so I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked. Hola, Rafa.
How can people follow you to keep track of, like, to catch this when it comes out and to just see what you're up to? Where can people find you?
In my my handle here. This is Ana Lía, like AG. That's my handle on Instagram. And then I'm going to put El Break TV again for people that are interested in checking it out. It's right there, guys. I will start teasing people right after Christmas happens, because right now people are in like holiday mood, which is why I'm not talking much about the song, because I feel like people will be like, oh yeah, that song, and then they'll forget about it. So, but yes, I'm super.
Everybody
excited.
follow Ana Lía.
Pardon?
I said, I'm just telling everybody to follow Ana Lía.
Yes,
check it out,
please.
follow, and you'll be the first ones there to catch it when her new single drops.
Yes.
In January.
Yes, January, mid-January. And again, you and Tamar, thank you for doing FabCollab. Thank you for giving a platform for us little guys that are trying to.
Thank you for giving people a platform on El Break. We're kind of doing similar things, and it's really wonderful to see.
And the more the merrier. We need so many of these to pop up and get big, so that
to bring what we do into the mainstream. So thanks for everything and thank you so much for joining us today, and for for collaborating with us and being a part of this project. So for people that weren't here at the beginning, this is Curtain Call, and we're on every Wednesday at noon. Next week, I'm interviewing every other week, hosting every other week, and Tamara Lana, who's an amazing singer and dancer, is hosting on the alternate Wednesdays. And so she'll be here next week interviewing an incredible artist, Jacqueline. So please tune in next week to check that out. Also, right now, FabCollab is asking musicians, performers, aficionados, anybody from anywhere who has a holiday song. We're asking people to send in just like a 10-second or 20-second clip, singing in any language, celebrating any sort of holiday that comes around this time. We'd love to get your entries, so you can send it to our Instagram, or you can send it to Ali at fabcollab.ca. That's ALI at fabcollab.ca. And please follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. And you can also find us online. You can find more stuff about Ana Lía, or about any of the guests that we have on the show on our website at fabcollab.ca. So thank you so much, Ana Lía. It's been so wonderful having you here, and Yeah.
No, again, it was my pleasure. Thank you, everyone. I'm just reading the last ones. Enter to
Oh,
win a free pashmina.
exactly. I
Nice.
keep forgetting that for the song, if you send in your holiday song, we'll enter you to win this beautiful pashmina scarf. So please send them in, and then what we're going to do is create a compilation, and we're going to put it out over the holidays.
Oh,
So please send those in.
yeah.
And thank you so much, and everybody have a safe and wonderful holiday.
Mwah. Thank you. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Ciao.